This is Hardy Brute with another run of Inventorix. Last time we unlocked device number 1, which allows you to expand any cell, not just adjacent ones. So that's our new default. We also unlocked difficulty level 2, which adds a 6th payment. We can get $1 at the start, $2 at the end, or 2 more rerolls. Let's just get the rerolls for now. We got a Solitaire card, and I have an idea for a build just for Solitaire. But it's not traditional. Usually the 1 will feed into the 2 into the 3, giving it $3 more each time. But this time we're going to go all in on the number 2, and that's because it's a Solitaire and a Flora. We also want a number 3 just for the selector, because we want to find something in the minerals, and in the Solitaire as well. So what we want is as many number 1s as we can get. We don't actually need any more number 2s. And the number 3 we only need 1 of. Target Solitaire gives 2 times more money. Wow, I did not know this item existed. But this is perfect for the build, and perfect for what we're trying to do. So now when we get the space, we can actually boost the number 2 even higher. It only has a base income of 1, but it gains 3 for each 1 that's attached to it. And now that we have the Joker, it'll also multiply that by 2. We had a tier 3 teletube. That is crazy to show up in the shop this early. But we got another number 2, but we don't actually need it, because the tiers don't increase the base value at all. It just increases the buff. And we're not a number 3 build, we're a number 2 build. So let's just roll here. We got another purple token, which just gives you a free reroll. And we're finding lots and lots of turtles in the build because of the selector. But sadly, this is not the turtle build. So let's continue to roll. We found a number 1, which is perfect because now we can upgrade the tier, going from 11 to 15. And the number 2 is already giving $12. We found another number 1 and a number 3. I actually want both of these for the build, but instead I think I'm going to be super greedy, get rid of our purple token, and get the yellow galactic token, because he's going to give us another choice at picking aliens, and double the amount we're going to get till the end of the run. It's going to make us a lot stronger, and we got it at the perfect time, right as we were making our payment. So let's expand the area in the middle, because we just want a big square to surround the 1. The green flowers give twice the cash, 10% increased chance effects, +1 item and +1 alien offered. That's going to help a ton. Batteries make the robot turtle twice as effective. Floral thinks that the rocks are floral. $1 for each open cell. Gives $5 for a full battery. Let's re-roll here. Discarded items have twice the value. It just gives $3. $2 for surrounding aliens. And trigrams are worth twice as much. And let's continue to roll. After a payment, get 2 rerolls. Select a column. The items give $1 more per cell. Gives $2 for each artifact, and increase the chance. Let's just get the rerolls after payment, since we just burned all of ours. And we reserved the 1, but we forgot to reserve the 3. Reserving and also rolling the aliens is something I recently discovered, so I've forgotten about it a few times. But now that I know it exists, I'll definitely try to take advantage of it. So now that we have the space, we're up to $22 per turn. And the number 2 is making 18 of that. We only have 1 reroll. We have artifacts, machines, and another number 2. But upgrading the 2 doesn't actually help us, so let's roll here. And now we're out of rerolls, and all of these items are bad for us. We've got a floral, and a machine, and a meteorite that both have a fixed amount. But the battery, with the Solitaire trait, might actually fit the build because the Joker. The Joker has 2 slots, and we can place the battery around the perimeter if we get enough space. We found another number 1, and the Parabox random chance is actually a Solitaire, but that's for the late game, so let's just upgrade the tier of the number 1, and now the 2 produces $22 for a total of 27. And we found another Joker. I can't believe this card is an uncommon, it's so good. It really only helps Solitaire, but that's all we needed to do anyways. at least for our current build. And there are other Solitaire items, such as the tube, the battery, the parabox, so the ×2 can be used in lots of different scenarios. Our income jumped from 27 to 51, and the floorstone is actually the mineral we're looking for. It'll ×2 the floral income, and the number 2 is both a solitaire and a flora. So this was before I knew the Joker even existed, so it's going to be pretty easy to get the multiplier on the number 2 very, very high, with the 2 1s adding to the base value, creating some huge numbers later on. The only issue is that we don't have the space for it, so we could combine the 1s together, or the Jokers, but I think I'd rather just lock and skip, because we're pretty desperate for the space right now. We made 52, with our income going up by 1, as the battery slowly charges all the way. So let's continue making the space around the middle, around the number 2, and let's actually take advantage of the extra space it gave us for free, so we can create enough space to put the alien outside our main board, because I'm a bit too greedy to get rid of him. +1 reroll when you discard, $2 per alien, machines and chance. Let's just get the $2 aliens and save our rerolls this time. Trigrams are better. Items give more money based on their tier level. So is that added to the base? Because if so, that'll be very good for our number 2. Similar to this random column selection that gains value, but it's completely random. So let's take the tier instead, and see if it actually has an effect. So now we have a reason to upgrade the level 2. And let's lock down the level 3 because I keep on forgetting. And let's pick up the Floristone. And I actually got confused here when I was using the Floristone, thinking that the number 1 was the number 2, and that it had the flora. I was looking at the item that it was connected to, and not the item itself. So we end up losing around $48 from the number 2 here, but I figured out pretty quickly after that. We got a mineral that's only worth $5, but we really want this number 3 here. So let's do some rearranging. Place the 3 against the 1 to the 2, and the Floristone against the 2. So we're up to 103 now. To save space, I also combined the 1s, which reduced the buff from 2 5s to 1 7. But now we have a lot more space to work with, and the selector is also in the correct position. So our build is coming along nicely now, since everything's in the right place. The artifacts seem very interesting, but I'm not sure how strong they actually are. The Wayfinders also seem like a choice to buff the base value of our number 2, but we got another Wayfinder. We're now at a 16 times multiplier to the number 2, and our income went from 103 to 177, with the number 2 giving us 144 of that. So we found another number 1, but we don't have space to actually put it on our 2 yet. The alien isn't always going to stay in this corner, but if we combine the Jokers or the Floristones together, the multiplier goes from 2 to 3 to 6 times. But you do need 6 of each one of those items to get a tier 3, but it would save the most space. I am thinking about rearranging our build though, because the 3 really doesn't have to be touching the 1, it only gives us $3 more. And if the 1 is actually touching the 2, we go from 179 to 258. As soon as we make the next payment, we'll get a lot more space, and we can think about what we want to do, because we are not hurting for cash right now. We've got 4 times the debt in the bank, and we still have 600 left over after paying. So I really want to move this alien so we can hit all the sides of the 2, and I think that'll give it enough space here. We don't actually need more than just 1 space for the Floristones, but in case we get Jokers, in case we get more options, let's just keep expanding outwards. And definitely move the alien away. More chance effects, more items and more aliens, this is definitely the choice. It gives $1 for each active slot, plus or point. Gives $3 if your total before extraction is a multiple of 3. So let's get the extra alien, and now we're up to 5 choices. We've got batteries, edges are worth more, another tier equals more value, which I think we should get because I think it adds it to the base. I've been paying attention to the number 1 Solitaire card, and it's been giving us $7 every single round, instead of giving us 3, and then 1, and then another 3. So it seems to add it all together, and add it to the base. So now that our 2 is surrounded completely, we're going to get 289, and the shop actually has another number 2 in it. So is our income going to increase by 2, or is it going to be increased by 32? And it's increased by 32, so it adds to the base, which means it's affected by all of the multipliers. And our income of 321, 272 from the 2, is almost what we need just for the payment. The targeted item gets between 0 times and 3 times buff. That sounds like a really fun mechanic, but who needs RNG? We have guaranteed 2 times from 2 different items. This is our first dud shop in a while. 4 minerals that all have a fixed amount of cash and don't really benefit us. So let's start rolling. Got a couple of turtles. And we found another number 3. We don't need to level up to 3, but the number 2 actually benefits from levels now. And by putting that in, we actually gained $6. So now we're up to 330, with 272 coming from the 2. We found another number 1, so we can upgrade our 1 all the way to tier 3, going from 330 total to 361. And the 2 itself, which gave us 272 last time, is now giving us 304. It's about a 30 improvement. We found another floral stone and our final number 2. So now we can upgrade our level 2 to tier 3 and go all the way to 387. So that's as high as it's going to get from the tiers unless we find some more tier aliens, with each alien adding 3 to the base. So let's make our 4th payment, expand the area, and we're actually on track to unlock device 6, which requires you to have 10,000 cash by the end of the game. So we're already at 2,000, but I have no idea how much the 6th payment is going to cost. And let's move the alien all the way to the corner now. Items inside the teletube loop gives 5 times the cash. That is very cool. Small items give $2 more, which is very good for our current build, a batteries build, and multiplier build. The jokers affect all items. This is also very cool, but right now our jokers are affecting the items we want them to affect. So let's add 2 to the base, going from 387 all the way to 431. Artifacts give more cash, and we actually found a 3rd tier mark, a trigram build, and a discard build. So let's get rid of the alien that gives us rerolls, or that one that only gives us $8. The rerolls is worse, especially since we have 6 of them. So we went from 431 all the way up to 493. And we have a joker and a floral stone in the shop. This is looking very, very good. So let's make a ×3 buff now, going from 493 to 704. Wow. And the number 2 is now giving us 624. So let's add in the other joker, give us another ×3 multiplier, pushing us from 704 to 1,019 per turn. And the number 2 is giving us 936 now. We had some insane shops back to back, especially that alien shop, so I'm not surprised we finally got a dud. But right after that, we get another joker. Each targeted item gives 2 times the cash, but it rotates randomly. That sounds like a really chaotic, fun build. Going from 1,019 to 1,490. These are some insane gains. And the number 2 is now giving 1,404. And this is a new item. Removes the value from the left and adds it to the target item on the right. Ooh, that's actually very good for the number 2 as well. As long as we find an item that is actually worth something, because all of our items, besides the number 2, are worth very little at the moment. But if we can add 10, 20 to the base value, or even somehow get another 2 online, and add that directly to this 2, we can have some insane gains. But we probably need at least 2 more payments to get another 2 online. Let's combine the 2 jokers together, get a tier 3, and it reduced our income by around 500, which is a lot. But the arrow has potential, we just need to find a good item to capitalize on it. And for now, I think it's going to be the battery. So let's rearrange to try to fit that in the build. So we got quite a bit closer to the 1490. And if we actually switch the Joker and the Floral, we could have got even more. But the number 2 is still giving us 1260. 10 times the item of the value in the center. That is pretty cool. If only we could attach our arrow to that in the middle. We got another Joker and Floral Stone, but I'm not sure we need any more Jokers since we already have a tier 3. But let's go back to the Floral multiplier. The battery is only going to be adding 6 or 12 to the base value of 2, and I think the multipliers are stronger. We're now up to 1961, which is the highest we've ever been. We've got one last turn before our 5th payment, and we're going to be 1500 short of the 10k if the game ended on payment 5 like it usually does. So I am very glad that we're playing on this difficulty. The number 2 made 1872 now. It just keeps going up and up. But a lot of our items are tier 3 now, and besides maxing out the Flora Stones and finding a very expensive item, there's not a lot we can improve. It gives a random mineral times 2 the value. That would compete with all the Floral Stones and our number 3, so that'd be pretty RNG heavy. The Wayfarer turns around, that's pretty interesting. Selects a random cell and gives it times 3 the value. Let's just skip for the cell space, keep 10% of the payment. It gives $3 whenever you buy an item. One more turn of payments, but less cells. So let's just skip. We really only had one alien that we could have replaced, but all those ones were kind of mediocre, or were just super RNG heavy. So we're looking for a very expensive item, or some more Floral Stones to finish out their tiers. And we found a decent purple rock. It is worth $5, so it's a little bit more than the battery. And if we get some more Floral Stones, we can double, triple, or 6 times it. But in its current state, it is slightly worse than what we had before with the multipliers. But now we have 2 Floral Stones that are both tier 2. And if we get another multiplier, and then we might replace the stone we just got. Or instead I'll probably combine the Floral Stones together, create a tier 3, and give us space for a Joker. But I think the arrow could potentially be better than the multipliers. They just require a lot more setup. So we jumped up to 2538, and the number 2 is giving us 2448. Wow. So now we just want more Jokers or Florals. Just give us bigger and bigger multipliers. And we found another Joker, giving us a tier 2, going from 2538 to 3765. With the 2 giving us 3672. We've got 2 more turns, and I really want a Floral or a Joker to replace our arrow now. And we actually got both. So let's lock down the Floral and take the Joker, replacing the arrow because we didn't have time to tear up the battery or the purple stone. But I still really like the arrow. So now we're up to 5723 from 3765. And our number 2 is making 5,616. So let's pick up the Floral Stone for our next run, slap it in, and make our final payment. We broke past the 10k requirement, and the 6th payment is only 1,600, which we easily cleared as well. So we unlocked a new difficulty, as well as device number 6. Device number 6. You can pick more items, but you only have one turn to make the payment, and the subtotal is ×3. That sounds like a very fast way to play the game. So if you'd like or subscribe, that'll motivate me to keep making videos like this. And I'll see you later.